Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maddie. I am the Volunteer and Program Associate here at the Center. A little bit about the Center before we get started. We are the charitable arm of ISC2. We focus on educating the public on cyber safety, raising awareness of cyber career options, providing scholarships and support to pursue or further a career in cybersecurity, and we assist small organizations to protect themselves from cyber risk. This webinar is meant to review identity theft and scams, specifically in adults and senior citizens, but we welcome all to it. During this webinar, feel free to interact in the chat. And then if you want to ask questions in the chat, that would be great. We will be doing a Q&A at the end of this. For now, while Lena, our wonderful volunteer, is presenting, I would ask that you all go on mute, and then we can have the option to come off mute when we're doing our Q&A. Also, just some engagement rules during this. Please be respectful of others in the chat. We value open dialogue, so please treat other participants with kindness and respect in the chat feature. And this is a safe space for all attendees, so please leave space for everyone to share their opinions and stories. Okay, with that, if everyone wouldn't mind going on mute, I will turn it over to Lena.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome. I am so thankful that you all decided to join us today. I've been looking forward to doing this. My name is Lena Thompson, and I am a retiree that decided to go back to school and learn cybersecurity.
Sounds good.
Back in 2023. And I have been studying ever since. I have a program certificate from the University of Michigan as a cybersecurity professional, and I also have several industry certifications, including the most important one that lets me do this is one from ISC2. So we're going to jump right straight into understanding the computer world so that you can protect yourself. And we're going to start with the basics because this is the most it is the most important part of keeping yourself safe. In today's world, I guess you hear that people get hacked like almost every single day. And do we all know what it means to be hacked? Well, hacking means that someone has access to your account. And that means that they stole your password or they were able to trick you into giving information that they needed to get in. And this happens every day. Often it's just due to poor password management. They've done studies. People still use password 123. And the hackers know this. So that's how they get in. So what you should do, because there's so many passwords now that you have to keep track of, it just gets really complicated because it used to be that you only had to have like 4 letters. Password used to be just like a word. And now passwords have to be a minimum of 8 characters or 12 characters. They have to have they have to have letters, they have to have numbers, and they have to have a special character before they'll be accepted. I don't know if you've noticed sometimes when you're setting your password, you're like, why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? Well, make sure that you have done all the things that they say that you need to have a good password. So, have you ever wondered how you can possibly remember all of these passwords while still making them secure? This is a really cool trick, and it's cool to see ISC do this. One of my instructors also told us about this in class. I think it's great. What you do is you make a password a phrase. You like a saying or even lyrics to a song. Oh, I don't know why this is stuck in my head. I got sunshine on a cloudy day. Those could all be password phrases. And then what you would do is you can substitute out maybe the vowels with special characters, like folks like to use the @ sign for A and the number 3 for 3. They actually have the name in the industry, they call it leak speak. I have no idea why, but that's how you can get your special characters in there, is you can actually help use it as a substitute for letters. So once you have these together, you want to make sure this actually prevents you from having passwords that are repetitive, like A or 1234566. And it makes them more context specific and easier for you to remember, because there is at least one password that you always need to remember, and it's usually a master password. So that's why this phrase thing is really cool. I really love it. And also remember, never, ever, 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 ever share your passwords with anyone. The other thing is use passwords on lock screens for your mobile devices. I don't know if many folks know, but sometimes they also offered, in addition to just using numbers to unlock your phone, you can use characters, alphanumeric, and I use that. It's harder for people to see and look over my shoulder and know what I'm doing, but that's how they typically get your passwords, just from over the shoulder. You're hanging out somewhere in public and you open up your phone and they're watching to see what you're plugging in. So the more difficult, the better. Now, the other thing about the basics of passwords is that you need to store them in a secure place. And we have these things that are called password vaults and managers. So when you create them, you also have to make them unique for every account. You do not want to use one password for several accounts, or actually, you do not want to duplicate them at all, because once a bad actor figures out that password, they now have access and they will do searches to see, oh, what will this password open? So that's why you always want to have a different password for every single account that you're using on the internet. But the cool thing is that there are software and mobile applications that will help you securely store these passwords. There's like companies that have password vaults, and they'll store that along with secret questions. And it's really, really helpful. It's just like a bank vault in which you have to have a key to get in. So as long as you're using a legitimate company, this can be, really safe, and it's easy to use. And when you go to the internet sites, like, your shopping or your banking, your password vault or manager will automatically fill in the username and password fields for you. So you don't have to remember all these different logins. However, you do have to remember your master password for any type of password manager or vault that you're using. And that one needs to be very long and secure, because it is really most important. You cannot forget this master password. So again, that's why I like the phrase concept, because that one you do need to remember. Also, just if you don't know, Apple iPhone and Android have their own free ways available to you to handle your passwords. iPhone provides what they now call the password manager. They used to call it some other kind of key, the Apple key or something like that before, but now it's called the password manager. And it will create and it will store these passwords for you. And it can also provide the second step authentication that you are seeing more and more and more, and also that you should set up for all of your accounts. You always want to have that second step authentication. And when we say authentication means that this is something that you personally have or are, not just a number or something. So they'll use things like a biomarker, like on Apple, it uses my face. Or there could be like a pass key that you have set up and it's already in the vault. And again, it's something that you have that phone. And then for Android, Google also offers you a free way to store your passwords, and that's online. In fact, everything really is online. Everything goes to the cloud, but the easy way to get to Google's passwords, very easy, is passwords.google.com. When you're signed into your account, you can go there and you can look and see all the passwords you have. And they will also even tell you whether some of these passwords may have been breached. Both companies will do that. Apple and Android will do that. If they find these passwords on the dark web, then they will alert you that there's been a breach and you need to change this password. So it's very important to use these managers. The other thing about Google is you have your password manager, passwords.google.com, but in other situations where you need that second step authentication, you have to download a separate application. It's called a Google Authenticator app. And that will again provide a number that only you can see that's in your hand. So this again means that if you're going to use your Apple account or your Google account as your master password, make sure that it's strong and make sure you don't forget it. And then I know some people are probably wondering, well, how can all this stuff stay safe? The thing is that when they transfer this information through the internet, they scramble it before they do it. They don't send it in plain text. So they'll scramble your passwords so that it's harder for the hacker to gain access to it and know what it is. All right, let's just move really quickly here. Okay. I often hear people say all the time, nobody cares about me and my info. And my response is, yes, they absolutely do. Malware and ransomware and phishing is real. Be careful anytime you're asked for information when you're on the internet, because your information is valuable. Do not fill out the Facebook online fun questionnaires that ask a bunch of questions like, what street did you grow up on and what school did you go to? Because a lot of times those are your actual security questions that you have set up. Or also, there's like authentication, like if you lose your license and you're trying to fly, they'll let you get on, but you have to answer specific questions that only you should know. So that's why you don't want to give out too much information, because you have no idea what they'll ask you. So make a fake profile, put some fake information in there, put a fake birth date in there, make it harder for people to gain your real information. Because what they do with this stuff is they open up accounts in your name, they get access. They may, clone your social media, and then they try to sell things to your friends. That's really how, like, one of the main reasons that they do it. They'll clone you, and then next thing you know, all your friends are hearing about this new, hey, there's this new deal. No, I didn't send you any new deal on such and such and so and so, but that's really one of the biggest scams that's out there right now. Okay. So let's go over what these three are. There's phishing, there's malware, and there's ransomware. Now, phishing, that's an attempt from a criminal to steal your financial info just by pretending to be someone else and tricking you to click on some malicious link or open some malicious attachment. I'm sure you've heard this many times. Do not click on attachments. Well, also do not click on links. And malware, it's just malicious software. That's where the word comes from. That can be used to gain access to your computer. And I know you've probably heard the term virus. Virus and malware, they are related. The difference is just how they spread. Some require human intervention and some don't. Some just, once they're on, they do their thing. They will go out and they will harm as many computers as they can get onto. The biggest thing that they're programmed to do, though, is to give the hacker or the criminal a way to access your account, a way to find your credentials, your usernames and your passwords. That's what they're designed to do. And then there's ransomware. I'm sure you've heard about ransomware in the healthcare industry all the time. You get emails or you get a mail and you get something in the snail mail that says that your information was found on the dark web because some healthcare association was hacked. A lot of times they hold them ransom and they can't get to their information unless they pay this ransom. Well, they do the same thing to people. It's the same kind of a malware situation where they will actually lock up your information unless you pay to get it back. They'll hold on to your photos or documents, or they can threaten to release them, etc. With phishing, the best way to prevent it is just never click on links, don't open any attachments, don't follow any instructions from people you don't know. Because even if you get an email from someone or an organization you still need to be cautious. You need to use your antivirus software. You can learn how to do this, where it will scan an attachment before you open it. You never, ever, ever want to send sensitive information through the email. That's what they hope you're doing. If you get these things and they're out of character and it seems really unexpected that it's supposed to be from a friend or a colleague, check with that friend or colleague before you act upon it. And whenever you're using a computer, definitely when you're in the public, make sure you log out of all of your accounts, any accounts, especially bank accounts, even on your own computer. When you go do your banking online, make sure to log out of the account, because if it's still open, there are ways that hackers can get in there. However, there's things you can do, though, to keep yourself protected, because they're hoping that you are going to click on this link. So what you can do is you can check the link in an email before you click on it. All you do is you hover over the website URL in the email, and then you'll see the real URL at the bottom left corner of the email that they are really trying to send you to. You think you're going to paypal.com, but you're actually going to something else. It's paypal.com/blah, blah, blah, /blah, blah, 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 blah. And it just doesn't .ru. It's from Russia or something. That's the other thing. Look at the ends of these. .ru, that's Russia. So don't click on it, just hover over it, look and see what it is. And if you really need to do this, you can copy that URL, you can put it in the tab. Don't search on it, but you can put it in a tab so that you can look at it and review and see where they really want you to go. And hopefully it's the authentic website that you wanted to see. So the main important point here is just avoid clicking on website links directly from emails. Also, you need to know that all of your email is stored somewhere on some server somewhere in the world. The cloud really, it's not a cloud. It's a bunch of servers, computers. We like to think it's some magical thing, but they're really huge, gigantic servers all around the world that are holding this data. And once it goes through these systems, it doesn't necessarily get deleted. Like you have absolutely no control on what happens to that email once you send it. Okay, the person who receives it, they may never ever delete it, and they may forward it. It can be, that's why you need to be really discreet about any personal information that you send, whether it's to your family or your friends, or a business, because of just the easy way that they can just spread this or use this information against you. So again, the tips are, don't follow links from unknown sources or untrusted sources. Be careful about the personal information you share online. We just really love to share stuff. I have a bad habit of that. Don't reply to posts or email messages when asking for personal information. Don't send sensitive information through the email, like your social security number. And log out of any accounts that you were in when you're finished. So to prevent all this, the malware and the spread of it, you need to start with an antivirus, which we've all heard of. You can get good and free antivirus software, or you can pay for one. Some of the free antivirus software, it may not have many advanced features as the paid ones, but you're still going to get the option for malware protection. Like Windows comes with their own Windows Defender, and it's actually pretty good. It's a decent malware protector. And it's not something that you have to buy. It just comes with Windows. So let's see. But the key about this, though, is that your antivirus software is only as good as you allow it to be, because programs get updated. Okay, these programs for your computer, your tablet, and your mobile, they need to be updated regularly, because when a hacker finds a weak spot and they're able to breach systems easily, what the company will do is they'll send out a patch to repair that hole, to repair that breach. And that's where they end up. They end up in the updates. So the updates can install new features, really cool features and stuff, and fix simple problems. But in most cases, those updates come with a security update. So that's why you should never, ever wait and let them build up. Because again, as the viruses change and the malwares change, and new information is gathered from the field, that information has to be updated constantly in your system. So the best thing to do is to put your phone and your computer on an automatic update, so that you don't have this extended period of time when you're vulnerable. Okay. They look for the people that don't follow the rules. That's how they do it. Even though there's a fix, they know there's a bunch of people that didn't do it. So technology scams, that is really what it's all about right now on the internet. All these modern scams all use some form of technology, and they are heavily targeting, right now, they're heavily targeting the SMS text messaging. And why are they doing this? Because you get these benefits. You get anonymity, you get impersonation, you get deniability, and you get a comfortable distance between you and them. Well, them and you, actually. They want the distance. So I went through and I looked at some of my, these are actually from me, some of the texts and emails that I've received. Here is an email that is telling me that there's a receipt for payment. It starts out, a productive day starts with peace of mind. Your invoice is attached. Well, the first thing is like, wait a minute, a receipt for payment, but you're also sending me an invoice? What? And The other weird part about this one, it was selling me Norton antivirus. I haven't used Norton in years. Why are they saying that I paid 500 and something dollars for Norton? I did not. And the other weird thing they did was they didn't say Dear Lena in the actual email. They said Dear Lena at so-and-so.com, which was kind of weird. They addressed my email. So these are things are kind of out of place. It just gets me with the payment, the receipt and the invoice. It's just like, okay. Oh, and these, I'm sure everyone should have at least gotten one of these. This is called smishing. This is the industry term for it. And the reason why they call it smishing is because it's SMS text and phishing, and you put it together and it equals smishing. This industry loves their terms. They love their little terminologies. So you've been smished. This is a really good one. How many of you have received the unpaid toll bill? And they say, oh, please settle it promptly. Thank you for your cooperation. It's, $6.99 and here's your payment. Secure.payment txid.top/pay. I mean, just that payment txid.top, that just doesn't sound right to me. So you want to look at who the sender is. You want to look at the phone number. That was the other thing on this that I didn't get in the picture, was that, oh, I don't know if it was this one, but it was just funny because the phone number was like an international number, and they're telling me that I have to pay a local toll bill. Okay. Then why are you sending me this from an international number? So anyways, what should you do? Don't click on it. Don't click on the link. Don't call the number. This one, what's suspicious in this one? This grammar. He says, excuse me, this is Tom's new phone number plate. What? What's a phone number plate? Who's Tom? And why are you texting me? So what do you do with this? You delete the text, you block the number. Don't want to click on it. So bottom line, question everything to prevent technology scams. Take a close look at your email addresses, your business information on these emails. Look for spelling or grammatical errors, which is they're getting better at that actually by using artificial intelligence. We'll talk about that in a second. So they know that we're looking for that, but look for that. Look for the strange grammatical errors because these are coming from overseas. Do you know this person? Is this a number you've had, ever seen before? So don't click on it, block it, delete it, do your research on whatever it is that they're trying to sell you on a separate computer, not on your phone. However, I will tell you that there is, a way that may help you that a lot of people don't know, that if you are hacked on your mobile phone, and how will you know if you've been hacked on your mobile phone? What happens is your phone starts to heat up more, your battery starts to run out faster, your apps keep crashing, maybe the touch thing isn't working right. That could be all signs that your phone has been infected with malware. So first thing you need to do is do a reboot. Turn the phone all the way off and then reboot it, bring it back up. Sometimes that malware infection will go away just from doing that. So this has been recommended by the industry, that you get in the habit of cycling your phone off and on, like once a week, or a couple times a month for good measure, just to keep it clean. With a computer, if it gets infected and you can't get rid of it, you need to go somewhere reputable that can help you with it, because they may have to reinstall software. You might end up losing your data if you don't do it right. You might have to rebuy software. Sometimes this can get into the hundreds of dollars. Identity theft. This is like a really huge problem, and it's a pain. It means that someone is opening loans and credit cards in your name, but it could even be someone using your medical insurance or filing taxes in your name. It's something really to take seriously. So again, some ways to make it harder: using your password manager. Always keep in mind that you don't want to give information to people over the phone that you don't know, especially if they called you. Another thing that you can do is you can put a freeze on your accounts. You may need to, on your credit accounts, you may need to contact 3 credit bureaus separately, but it's fairly easy to do. But however, some credit bureaus like Experian, they also offer commercial products that can lock your credit file for you whenever you want. It's just the flip of a switch, and it'll do it for all 3. And they also will put in removal requests against all these crazy info sites. I don't know if you know about this, but these information sites, which is like just I can't even, what, peoplefinder.com, those kinds of things. Your data is being just traversed everywhere with this information. I'm using an app right now where it's, since I've had it, which was like a couple months, they have made 764 requests to get me off of these different sites. 764 different sites have my name or my email or my address or family information just out in the public. And legally, you can ask to be taken off of these sites, but you can't do it by yourself. You need to get some sort of a program or something to help you do that. So there are programs that can help you get off of these info sites. They'll also monitor your bank accounts for any kind of suspicious activity. And sometimes you can set an alert amount. Let's see. Multi-factor authentication, if it's offered, again, let me just reiterate, if it's offered for any account that you use it. Okay. Don't give any information over the phone, etc., and freeze your credit. Identity theft, more of it, how to protect yourself. So we've talked about that already, actually. Some other things you can do: shred your documents with personal info instead of putting it in the garbage. At least annually check your credit reports. Place a fraud alert on your credit files and freeze your credit report, including if you have children, do that for your children. File your taxes early before the scammers can. And if you're asked to give your social security number on a form, ask if they really need it. Okay. And if you're impacted by a breach and you're offered free credit monitoring services, get it. That's how I found out about Experian having a commercial product, because I was breached. Experian offered me, and they only offer it for like 1 or 2 years. I want continual monitoring of my accounts, so I ended up purchasing their additional protection. So, like I said in the last slide, take action if something seems strange. If you're getting mail or notices for things that you did not sign up for, contact the credit bureaus and see what's happening with your account. Don't wait. It's better to look and find nothing than wait. And then if it happens, as with most things, stay calm, Don't get upset about it because it's not going to help. Make sure you put a fraud alert on your account. That's separate from the lock. You can put a fraud alert, and those also have like a time period where the credit bureaus are particularly, it's on a heightened alert. And then this is something that you can work through and overcome. You just need to do the things that you can do to protect your going forward. And you can also contact the Federal Trade Commission and look up what to do. Also contact the local police. Believe it or not, this is criminal activity and it should be called out. Artificial intelligence. I have mixed emotions about artificial intelligence. Today, we live in an era where technology advancements to increase efficiency has been on the increase, and it feels like it's everywhere. That's because it is. Artificial intelligence refers to computing and performing tasks commonly associated with being a human being. And they do this by, it's called machine learning. I've witnessed some of that in my old jobs. And that's the use and development of computer systems that can learn and adapt without following explicit instructions. They also use these large LLMs or large language models. They use all kinds of algorithms. They use all kinds of statistics to analyze and draw inferences from different patterns in the data and the text. AI does all of this. Machine learning and artificial intelligence, it's being used a lot in positive ways, but it can also be abused by bad actors. These include the deep fake technologies, a voice cloning and synthetic persona, which can be used to impersonate an individual. Next. And what are these deep fakes? Voice cloning. This is the process where an AI program is used to create a digital copy of a person's voice. Typically, there's 3 steps. They do a data collection where they get a data set of audio recordings of the person's voice. Training, they train the machine to learn with all these algorithms. And then the voice synthesis. Once it's got it all down and trained, it will be used to generate new speech in the person's voice. This technology is readily available on the internet and it's very inexpensive. It is not cost prohibitive. So that's why it's become so widespread. So these deep fakes, they're everywhere, especially on social media. So make sure you understand your sources again. Is that photo really from where it says it from? Does this seem plausible? Getting something from a friend, that doesn't mean it's true. And also think about setting up a family secret word. That way, if your grandma or your grandson calls from some bus station in Ireland and saying, I need $1,200 to get home, you can ask that person for the family password before you go sending it. So I'm going to try to go through these common scams really quick because I'm running out of time. Why are seniors targeted? Well, that's a no-brainer. Accumulated wealth, your credit scores, just because a lot of us were traditionally brought up to trust authority and be helpful. And, we share our information with everybody now because you have to talk to your doctor, your caregiver, your, government, everybody's in your business and you're just like giving it up. And so they use this, they know this human trait that we have. Some of the scams, IRS scams, romance scams, estate, title, rental assistance scams, you name it. Here's a case study real quick that delves into a real life situation. And this one was a victim, this grandparent was a victim of AI. And this is Maureen's story. On a sunny day, Maureen's phone rang. It was an unknown number, but she picked it up anyway. She had been waiting for a call from a new friend Maureen heard a familiar voice on the phone, and before she could even say hi, she heard her grandson's voice say, "Grandma, Grandma, I'm in trouble. I need your help. I've been in a car accident and I'm going to the police station. I need $8,200 for bail and I need it quickly." Okay, remember, this is AI. It sounds just like your grandson. And then some attorney with your grandson jumps on the call and says, he hit a diplomat and he's in a lot of trouble. And I've advised that he or she, whoops, oh yeah, I've advised that, oh, I'm advising you because this is a sensitive national matter. You don't want to tell anybody. Okay. Don't tell anyone what happened for 72 hours. Just go to the bank, withdraw the money, and deposit it. So what should Maureen do next? Duh. Think about why she's the person being called. Call your grandson for the number. See if she can get a hold of them. Call members of his family. See if he's safe. Contact the police department where he's being supposedly held. Get information. Get all that information gathered and try to verify it. So should she go to the bank? No, 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 and no. So just know that they can pretend they're calling from anywhere. They can create a sense of urgency to wire the money. It sounds like your family. So have that family secret password set up. So Maureen went to the bank, and then when she was standing there, she decided to do some research. She called her daughter, and her daughter's like, "Well, he's right sitting right next to me." So she put the money back in her account, and she went home. So go to the police department, file a FBI report, talk to your friends about what happened so they know how easy it can happen to them, and then create that code word again that only family members know. Ask for it in situations like this. The second one, see if I can say this one really quick. This one is a romance scam. You guys probably can figure this one out. Evelyn, she was retired. She moved to Florida. She had her husband had just died of cancer. And her friends had been encouraging her, "Oh, start dating again. It's time." So she creates this profile on Match.com, and shortly she's matched with some lovely guy named Robert Wilson. He's 62. He's about to retire, and he's looking to move close to where she is in Florida. So this goes on for a while. They get this long distance relationship. He calls a couple times a week. Then about 6 months in, Robert says, "Hey, Evelyn, I'm thinking about moving down there and I found the perfect place. I need I need $204,000 to put on the house, but I won't have that money until I sell my old house. So I don't know what to do for the next 6 months." So they talk about it, and since they've gotten so serious and they're talking about moving in together, Evelyn actually gives it up. "Hey, I've got a 401k that maybe I could borrow my money from." What? So what should Evelyn do before giving the money? Well, we all know what she should do. Think about this relationship. How well does she know Bob? Now, this apparently is a scenario where she has never met him. This is all online. Has she met any of his coworkers? Has she talked to her friends about this? Because sometimes the friends will say, "Hey, Evelyn, think, have you ever met this guy? What kind of long-term effect would it be if she took out $204,000 on her 401k? Is it going to affect her retirement plan? What if she pulls it out too early and she gets that penalty? That's not good." So long story short on this one, Evelyn wasn't very smart. She actually did take the money out. She did give it to Robert. And after she sent the money, what happened? Robert disappeared. So he's not answering his phone. She tried calling his work. Nobody knows who he is. And then she owed taxes, because when you pull it out of your 401k, you also got to pay your state and federal taxes on it. And that was like $50,000. And then because she pulled that money out, It made her income go up. So now they're giving her less in Social Security. It's like a snowball effect. So what should she do? Again, file a report, call FBI, talk to your friends, tell them what happened to you so it doesn't happen to them. And remember, you are not alone. Reports of romance fraud by the FTC have been going up for years, tripling from 2016 to 2020. Okay, more than 33,000 victims. Losses quadrupled in that time, over $304 million. So again, how can you prevent it? Just use your spidey sense, okay? Pay attention. All this extra love that they keep giving you, and they have these pet names. If they have a pet name for you, like honey, my dear, my love, that is a red flag. And again, how to prevent it, do your research, watch for the red flags. Just ask the questions. Just be aware that they may be asking you for inappropriate photos and financial information to extort you later. They'll be like, I'm going to release these pictures if you don't give me money. So, woo! In conclusion, I think I got through. Woohoo! How to prevent yourself from being scammed. Have a healthy skepticism. Ask yourself, is it too good to be true? If an offer appears to be too good to be true, it probably is. And never pay money. Never provide money to cover things like application fees, service fees. Be wary of any type of upfront fee. Like, I know maybe if you are getting back into the and like maybe if you're retired now and you're getting back into the workforce, which I'm thinking about doing eventually, maybe sort of, who knows. What am I seeing a lot of? The scams. Oh my God. Things where they say you need to pay money for training first, and then we'll help you find a job, but not like from University of Michigan or something, just from some podunk. I don't even know, who knows where they are. I mean, look for physical addresses, do some snooping around. Just think of yourself as like Inspector Gadget or something, and just try to get as much information on something before you go through making any decisions to give out information or money to people that you don't know. Don't reuse your passwords, because again, if they get hold of one and you got 20 accounts, guess what? They will find those accounts that password opens up. Freeze your credit. My credit is always frozen. Okay. The only time I unfreeze it is if I personally am wanting to get credit. And that's just more stuff. Get your credit review. This you can all get because this is all being recorded and you can review it. More tips. Oh yeah, be careful on Wi-Fi connections, public Wi-Fi connections. Try to stay away from those. Don't really use them like at your, I just don't use them. Use your mobile phone. Turn your Wi-Fi off and just use your mobile phone, because actually the mobile phone transmission is a lot safer. Okay, especially if you're going to do something sensitive, which you shouldn't be doing at the coffee shop anyway, but people do. So if you really need to do it, don't do it on a public Wi-Fi. There could be somebody in there sniffing the network. They can pull that information right off. Okay. Question all the emails and pop-ups and all of that stuff. So anyways, I'm trying to get through. We should get to some questions. Let's go for it. Madison.
Okay, thank you, Lena. That was incredible. Okay, everybody, we do have a few minutes left for some Q&A questions. So if you guys want to raise your hands, or if you want to just put your questions in the chat, I can read them to Lena. I did get a few privately that I'll start with. One is, are there websites or tools to help check if an online dating profile is fake?
Ooh. Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I just consider them all fake. I mean, there's so many fake social media um profiles that want to be your friend, and they are not real. They're fake.
They are
Uh,
fake.
you just just really read how they write that stuff up, because sometimes you just get that spidey sense that this does not look right, the way they're explaining who they are and where they live, and it may not make sense. Sometimes these people, they just don't know. They're from other countries, and so they may goof. So look for things that don't make sense, where they make mistakes. That can kind of help you determine if they're real or not.
That's very good advice. Okay, another question that we did just get in the chat is what is the URL for annual credit report, the free version?
Is it that freecreditreport.com? I don't know. Did we have one in here? I don't know if we provided one. That's the only one I know. But you can go right straight to Experian or the other two, and they probably offer free scores. Plus, check your bank. Um, your bank, like my bank has a thing where it'll check my score for free. That's actually the best way to do it, is actually to go through your bank. At least that's safe. You've already signed into your account, you're credentialed, et cetera, and you're safe. So that's what I would suggest that. It's like right on the app sometimes. Check your credits, because they're always trying to sell you. Remember, they're trying to sell you accounts, not accounts, but uh when you borrow money. They're always trying to get you to borrow money. So they will make it easy for you to look up your credit score. Banks will. So I would go to the bank.
Okay. All right. Yes, we did. Alicia just sent a good site for everybody to use, a good URL. We did just get a question. Are you going to give us an attendance certificate? Unfortunately, we don't offer attendance certificates at this time. One question for you, Lena. With the advent of AI making it easier for scammers to fool people, how can we tell if AI was used? How are agencies combating this?
Wow. Well, the easy answer is they are actually combating AI with AI. That is what we have come to. A lot of these, if you really have, if you, okay, some of these virus platforms, or I'm sorry, the companies, that antivirus platforms and stuff, they do actually offer AI protection, a certain kind of AI protection in it. And that's how we're doing it. I mean, that's how we're doing it in the field too, using AI to fight AI. Um, let's see, where I think that's really the only thing I can think of right now, but that's it. That is our only, that is our number one way to fight AI, is with AI, really. And so what I'm saying is there are a lot of products out there right now, and the really good products, they offer you a whole lot of things that they're going to protect. They're going to look for dark web breaches. They're going to look for information that's out there that shouldn't be out there. But they also have AI looking for things um, that humans may not pick up on, patterns that they won't pick up on.
It is kind of funny, the irony of AI fighting AI.
I know. I know.
Okay. All right, we did get another one. So besides the obvious personal information that you kind of went over, Lena, like your social security number that people are looking for when they're trying to, like criminals are trying to conduct identity theft, is there any other personal information that you might think that you would normally give away, not thinking that they could do anything with it, but that you should veer away from?
Yeah, actually, any personal information, I mean, your name is enough as personal information. Your name with your middle name is personal information. Your email is personal information. There are ways that if they have your email and they can somehow figure out credentials to get into your email, what they do is they use this to pivot to other areas. You know, they don't just stick with just the breach of the email. They use that credential to see if, oh, hey, is there another account that these credentials will open? So, um, wait, what was the other stuff? Uh,
It was just a question of what else can we look out for when someone calls and might be trying to commit identity theft? What information should we not be giving
oh
besides the
yeah,
obvious, like your social security number or like your address?
right. Well, that's exactly it. And unfortunately, it's gotten to the point where you really don't want your personal information out there. This is what I was trying to say, which is just everything. It's your address, it's your email, it's where you were born, might be there. It's people you live with. Okay, this stuff is on these info sites.
Mhm.
Okay, and sometimes they'll have down who lives in your household. I mean, this not information that you want to be giving up to anybody. That's none of their business. And also, if they want you to do something on the phone at that moment, tell them you will call the company back. I mean, I had one that was legit them calling me to alert me, but I was on high alert. I was like, who are you? What do you want? I said, I don't know. You may be legit, but I'll just call in to be safe. And it turned
That's
out it was
great.
legit, but I called in to be safe.
Yeah, that's a great idea, great advice. And then, of course, our phone numbers and email addresses might all be public information, but a great way to kind of combat people potentially getting into your email accounts or your bank accounts is two-factor authentication. If you're able to utilize that, that's a great way. You log in and then you have to enter a code. That's a great way to protect yourself as well. All right. I think that we have time for one more question that just came in. Is social engineering still the most prevalent way to scam people, and why is it so effective?
Yes, and because we're human, uh, we don't like to think of ourselves as social beings, and we don't like to think of our mammalian tendencies, things that we just do because that's just what we do to protect ourselves. Sometimes some of the things we do to protect ourselves actually don't protect ourselves.
Mhm.
Um, and it's just from, evolution or whatever. Uh, what was I saying again now? I'm sorry, it's early.
Okay, it is early. The question was, is social engineering still the most prevalent way to scam
Oh,
people, and why
right.
is it so effective?
Yes. Yes. In fact, social engineering, I mean, I've heard many different percentages, but in most breaches, I mean, social engineering is always, 60, 70% of the reason or way that they got in, the first way that they got in. It always starts with social engineering. Because again, we're human. We want to be helpful. We're social beings. We are social beings, period. We love to connect with people, even if we're trying to connect with them over the internet. And we feel good when we feel that connection. But we may be connecting with a bad actor. That's the problem. Like you may be saying, oh, I feel this way about this person that's online that I've never met before. That is fake. That is a fake feeling. That's just your hormones. Okay, oxytocin, that one. Um, and I'll give you another really quick one. I don't know if you heard about the MGM breach. That happened where MGM was down. I mean, they had to shut the casino down for a long time. Well, when they went to find out what actually started it, it was social engineering. Someone was able to convince uh, someone with admin authority to reset their authentication password, not their first one, but the second one. And they said, can you reset this for me? And they did. And once they did that, because they had already breached, maybe they had already figured out the first one, they were able to reset the second one. And that was it. They got into the system. And again, once they get into the system, they pivot all around. That's the that's the scariest part. It's not that they just go to that system. They pivot. They go to different areas to find the good stuff. But it was social engineering. It was actually somebody from MGM, probably in the security, the past IT. IT reset the password. I called IT. In fact, they actually, some companies actually have other companies social engineer them on purpose. With, you know, they will send their employees phishing emails. They'll send in people into the you know, the scam is I lost my badge and I need to get in, or you know, I lost my badge, can you let me in? People are so nice, they just let you in, you know. um just That's why we just are really gullible beings. I hate to say it. And I don't know if we'll ever really fix that. I don't know how to fix that. But really, social engineering is that's why you really have to have a high level of skepticism when it comes to the internet. You want real time facial contact. Maybe do a FaceTime video with somebody. I mean, that's why we have those. Let's do some real FaceTime video with the real person before you start doing any other kind of interaction with them. Make them get online, make them show you something with the date on it. You know, I don't know. When they send you a picture or whatever, make them show you that picture that they did it today or something.
Yeah.
Also, if you have a choice to turn your location off when you're sending pictures to friends and things like that, turn it off. There's ways that you can turn it off in your phone so that whenever you send a picture like to Facebook or something, it doesn't send the tag, that geo tag, which says where it came from. Bad
That is
actors look for
great
that too.
advice.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. Lena, you did a wonderful job. Thank you so much. This was a great presentation. I hope that everybody enjoyed it and took something from it, and that hopefully this can help you in the future. Have a great rest of your guys' day, everyone.